Let's take a look at what is happening with markets, and we start off with the JSE. That, of course, seems to have taken a knock today after the gain of almost 1.5% that we saw today. So a sea of red over there. Of course, one of the things that markets are chewing on is the GDP data that came out today for the first quarter, with economic growth there. Actually no economic growth, a contraction of 0.1% in the first quarter. Taking a look at the oil share there, with a decline of more than 1%, with the resources 10 complex carrying the bulk of those losses there, nose diving more than 3%. Financial 15 declining almost 1.5%. The industrial 25 relatively flat, just 0.03% below that flat line. Let's take a look at what is happening with markets stateside, and on that front, investors also digesting some economic data, including labor data that came out for job openings in May, declining more than expected at the three-year low. On that front, of course, signaling that the labor market there has some weakness in it. Of course, we do have those markets in red territory today, making a turnaround from the mixed sentiment that we saw yesterday. The S&P 500 declining more than 0.25%, the tech-heavy Nasdaq down by the same margin, the Dow 0.05% below that flat line. Let's take a look at what is happening with markets across the Atlantic. And on that front, one of the prints that markets are sifting through is the German unemployment data that rose for the month of May. We also are seeing negative sentiment on that front. FTSE 100 declining by 0.4%. The CAC 40 there slumping by almost 0.75%, and the DAX with a loss just shy of 1%. Let's take a look at what is happening on the currency scene, and we start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. A little bit of weakness, almost 1% against the dollar there for the rand, at 18 rand 68 against that currency, against the pound at 23 rand 88, and against the euro at 20 rand 32. Let's take a look at what is happening with the other currency pairs, starting off with the euro dollar. That's at 1.08, the pound dollar at 1.27, and the yen just below 155 against the US dollar.